What's up, conscious creators? Alex here. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you what we could call the 5 stages of sex transmutation, or more specifically, the 5 stages of discovery and realization when it comes to this topic of sex transmutation and your implementation of this knowledge. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you are along these different stages, if you're stuck on a particular stage, and how to progress onto the next stage if you wish to do so. So stay tuned until the very end of the video, because you're going to want to get all the information so you can apply it properly and get the results. So just a very quick announcement before we get straight into it. A few more slots have opened up for the free one-to-one with me to see if you'd be a good fit for the Consciousness Revolution program. So if that interests you, head over to speaktoalex.com or wait till the end of the video for more details. But with that being said, let's get straight into it. So what are these 5 stages of discovery and realization when it comes to sex transmutation? Now, before I go on, obviously I know not everyone's journey is exactly the same, and this isn't an exact model. And this particular model mostly relates to people who are single, as being single is often one of the things that helps people discover this stuff in the first place. But also, it doesn't exclude couples who are perhaps exploring ways of incorporating sex transmutation principles into their relationship. But right now, we're keeping it simple for the illustrative purposes. I can't speak. So the first stage is discovery. People arrive at the concept of sex transmutation from all kinds of different angles. Perhaps you see a video on YouTube about it and you're like, sex what? It's just a juicy title that catches your attention and you click on it. Perhaps this is the first video you've watched on the subject, or perhaps you were reading Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich to help you prosper in life, and the chapter of the mystery of sex transmutation caught your attention and you decided to do some Googling to find out more. Or perhaps you hear about this thing called NoFap and are blown away that people would even consider not masturbating for more than a few days. Like, wouldn't your brain explode or something else? Or perhaps you discovered NoFap because you started running into some sexual problems like performance anxiety and discovered NoFap while searching for a potential solution. Perhaps searching NoFap opened up the algorithm to show you some sex transmutation videos, or perhaps you put 2 and 2 together in your mind and you wondered how these concepts of NoFap and semen retention and sex transmutation relate. Either way, you're curious and you move on to the second stage, which is trial. And this is where you say, okay, and you try it out. Perhaps you go for a few days without your usual daily porn habit, or perhaps you're more of a once every so often guy anyway, and you decide to drag out your refractory period for a bit longer. Now, some people end up going around in circles here, and this is where the person who feels like they're an addict often feel like they can't escape. They go for a few days without, and then the pressure builds up and they crack. They feel it's too hard, and the allure of pornography or whatever else just seems too tempting. And many people just quit here too. They feel it's just too hard, or they deny that abstinence from porn ever has any effect. They don't want to hear bad news about their bad habits. Because consistent and compulsive masturbation has the effect of subduing certain emotions, and for some people, when they take that away, it's not long before the raw emotions that unconscious sex and masturbation was suppressing start to bubble up to the surface. Perhaps there's a lot of anger or sadness and they don't want to feel those emotions, or the pain, or they just can't handle the neurotransmitter dip after the dopamine spike. But many people get through to the next third stage, and that is realizations. This is where you come to a point in your streak of abstinence and you realize the benefits are clear. And this can happen anywhere between day 3 for some people, or maybe even day 50 or 60 or 70 for others. It really depends on many factors. But it gets to a certain day and you realize, yes, I feel more energetic, I feel more vigorous, more alive. And on another day you realize, my God, my verbal fluency seems to have skyrocketed and my brain fog's cleared up and maybe these so-called superpowers are real after all. And further on in the streak you realize, well, my sexual prowess has certainly come back. I could probably jump in bed with anyone right now. And it could be on any day, but at some point you crack. The old beliefs start to creep back in. You're like, well, porn and masturbation is pretty fun. Just once in a while, can't hurt, can it? And you binge for a bit. And after a while you think, okay, maybe this isn't as fun as it initially was after all, and I am feeling a bit drained and foggy again. Perhaps I should get back on this again. And you progress onto the next 4th stage. Repeat long streaks. This is a kind of middle ground. You're getting the benefits of being on long streaks and directing your sexual energy towards creative endeavors, and you can see how much energy you've been wasting and you love it. You know now that you have access to such a previously undiscovered well of energy and vitality, and you may even start a litany of other healthy personal and spiritual habits to further support you. You start eating healthier, meditating more often, channeling that extra energy into exercise or your career, and end up even maybe creating more money and positive impact in your business. But you're also stuck between 2 worlds. The wonderful world of sex transmutation or nofap over here, and also the wonderful world of pornography and masturbation over there. You perhaps have a few 20-day streaks, and maybe a 30-day one, and maybe you get all the way to 90 and celebrate your triumph. But in the long run, you're always back to a binge and wondering where you really stand on this. Perhaps you even wrestle inside yourself trying to decide, like, what values do I really have around this? Do I really need porn? Or is this just a belief? And if you start asking yourself that question, you may end up moving on to the 5th stage, which is the full identity switch. You may get to a point where you think the payoff of porn or masturbation just doesn't seem worth it. You recognize, yes, this is a lot of fun. It's easy and instantaneous access to a huge release of pleasure chemicals in my brain. And it's free. But does it ever add a net benefit positive to my life? You're not needing to be dogmatic and say, never ever again. You just kind of lost your taste for it. You'd rather direct that energy to your creative endeavors. You'd rather save up that sexual energy for an upcoming relationship, or perhaps you end up in a relationship and you reserve all of your sexual energy for your partner and not just for pixels on a screen. It becomes a lifestyle and part of your new person identity. It's not a struggle to not look at porn or not masturbate. You realize it's not such a struggle after all. You're just not really that interested in engaging with it. Your values around pornography and sex have changed. You realize sex energy is powerful and you forever want to be more conscious about where you channel it. Ultimately, you either want to be single or you want to share that energy in a conscious way through exploration and adventure of intimacy. If you are going to release that energy, you want to do it consciously. And if you fall off every once in a while, you forgive yourself and you jump back on the path to consciously creating more of what you want in your life. And so, which stage are you at? Let us know in the comments below. And with that being said, here's some more detail on the Consciousness Revolution program. On this program, we help you overcome low confidence, low self-esteem that's holding you back from what you really want to be doing in life. If you're done with living a mediocre life full of the same stuff day in, day out, and want to build something that positively contributes to the world and in exchange brings abundance to your life, this program is for you. Or if you're a conscious entrepreneur that has had some momentum but has ran into some blocks and wants help taking things to the next level, this program is also for you. So head over to speaktoalex.com to book a time for us to chat about solving your problems. And with that being said, of course, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos helping you with conscious personal growth. Peace.